How to implement the idea. Create a plan. Now, don't even think about implementing your idea until you've actually created an implementation plan, not just in your head, as you need to write it down. Now, plan for how to implement the idea, pay for it, and launch it. Plan for opposition. Now, despite your best laid plans, you're going to run into roadblocks. Your best bet is to plan for opposition and roadblocks up front to the best of your ability. You take these steps. Brainstorm all the possible things that could go wrong with your idea. Ask one or more experts, such as a mentor, what they foresee as potential problems. Then brainstorm ways to get around these problems. And you won't be able to foresee every potential problem, but taking these steps may save you a lot of time, money, and heartache down the road. Consider outsourcing. You don't need to implement your idea yourself. Instead, find one or more freelancers to set your plan in motion. For example, if you're starting up an information product business, you might hire the following team: customer service staff, technical staff, content creation specialists, product creation experts, marketing and advertising experts. Next, 3 places to find an awesome freelancer. So, you've decided to hire one or more freelancers to implement your idea. Here are 3 places to start your search. Search Google. For example, search for hire copywriter or hire freelance writer. You can seek out freelancers on freelancing sites. Now, this includes Upwork.com, Freelancer.com, and Guru.com. You can also spread the word through your networks. Ask your friends, colleagues, and contacts for recommendations. Next, 6 steps to take when doing your due diligence. Now, not every freelancer is a dream come true, so be sure to pick the best candidates by taking these steps. Check the freelancer's feedback ratings on sites like Upwork.com, browse the freelancer's portfolio, ask for references, and follow up with them. See if the freelancer's rates suit your budget. Search your freelancer's name and business name in Google to uncover any red flags. You can do a small test project first to see if you work well together with the freelancer. Next, how to create an awesome project brief. Now, your freelancer isn't a mind reader, which is why you want to be sure your project brief includes the following components where applicable: working title, outline of the project, instructions on formatting or style, examples of what you want, reference sources, any additional notes to help freelancer create a great end result, an invitation to ask plenty of questions. Next, 3 questions to ask before doing it yourself. Are you considering implementing your idea yourself? Then ask yourself these questions first. Do you have the skills to create a good end result? How much time will it take you to create it yourself? And what does it cost you or your time per hour to do it yourself versus how much would it cost to hire a freelancer? In many cases, you'll find that hiring a freelancer is an investment rather than an expense. So it's well worth freeing up your time by hiring someone else to do the work. The number 1 key to creating effective to-do lists. Now, if you're going to implement your idea yourself, then you need to create daily to-do lists that are based on your plans and goals. Here's a key. Create bite-sized tasks to avoid feeling overwhelmed. For example, if you put a task on your list such as set up a website, that can feel overwhelming. Now, you'll find it easier to tackle this task if you break it up into mini steps such as finding a domain name, getting hosting, changing domain name servers, installing the WordPress files, and so on. Delegate other tasks. Outsourcing isn't limited to your business-related tasks. You can outsource and delegate in your personal life too, which will free up your time to focus on idea implementation. For example, delegate household tasks to other members of your family. Hire someone to do tasks such as clean the house once per week. Next, look for shortcuts. Now, to cut the time it takes to implement your idea, look for shortcuts. For example, if you need a lot of content to start up a blog, then purchase the private label rights to high quality content. This takes less time than writing it yourself, and it's less money than having a ghostwriter do it all for you. Now, tip, how do you uncover shortcuts? Ask other business experts what they do to save time. Next, set deadlines. Now, plan or a to-do list without a definite deadline is just a wish. That's why you'll want to attach firm deadlines to your plans. It's a good idea to set up a milestone deadline as well, which is where you complete certain parts of an overall task by a certain day. Now, budget accordingly. Be prepared to invest some money in developing your idea. This may be for outsourcing, other development costs, advertising, and similar. Sit down and create a budget for each potential expense. That way, you won't have the unpleasant surprise of running out of money halfway through implementation. Now, 4 ways to fund your idea. If you don't have a trust fund set aside to implement your idea, and who does, then you'll find ways to come up with the cash. Now, check out these 4 ideas. Crowdfunding. Now, if you've got a great idea, then try funding it using platforms such as Kickstarter.com or Indiegogo.com. Ask for a loan. Now, this is a last resort, but don't be afraid to use it if you truly need it. But avoid credit card debt though. Instead, seek out loans with lower rates through your local financial institution or even a crowd lending site like Prosper.com. Stick with your day job. Sure, not the most exciting option, but a steady paycheck will help you fund your idea until it gets to the point where it's funding itself. And you can also moonlight as a freelancer on a site like Upwork.com. Now, haggle with vendors. Now, you can barter to get what you need, you can ask for discounts, or you can even seek out premiums to cut costs. Next, be prepared to make adjustments. Now, you've got a plan, but just be sure you're not 100% married to that plan. Some piece of information may come along or some event may happen that could change your plan. Point is, be flexible and ready to make adjustments to your idea implementation plan as needed. Launch in stages. If possible, roll out your launch in stages so that you can tweak your process and work out the kinks. For example, if you're launching a business with an entire sales funnel full of products, then do a soft launch after you create the lead magnet. The bonus here is that you can begin making money even before you've created all your products. Another example, if you're launching a service business, then start by only accepting 1 or 2 clients. As you gain experience managing the workload, you can then accept additional clients. Prepare for loss of motivation. Now, while you may have a burst of adrenaline when you first start working on implementing your idea, there will be days where your motivation wanes. Now, you need to prepare for these days and come up with a plan for counteracting those feelings so you can keep pushing forward. For example, maybe you like pep talks, in which case you can have an enthusiastic friend on call to give you a pep talk and remind you of all the reasons why you want to pursue this idea. Avoid naysayers. Sometimes you're going to get pushed back from naysayers in your life. Many times these will be the people who are closest to you. Now, it may hurt to hear them say things like, "You're just dreaming, that will never work." Now, if you run into this problem, the best thing you can do is simply avoid the naysayers until your idea is fully implemented and launched. If avoiding the person isn't possible, then certainly avoid talking about your idea. Get support in place. One thing that can bring down the greatest business idea is poor customer service. Now, if the product is awesome, all people are going to remember is their poor customer service experience. What's more, they're even likely to tell others about their poor experience. Point is, be sure your customer service staff is trained well and ready to handle anything. And this applies no matter what type of business, product, or service you're launching. Build your platforms. If you want to start making money with your ideas sooner rather than later, then build your platforms while you are in the process of implementing your idea. That way, you'll have an eager, warm audience just waiting for you to launch. Tip: focus on building platforms you own that allow you to reach your contacts anytime, such as your mailing list. Secondarily, you can focus on social media platforms and your blog.